It's the 100th episode. Celebration is in order. It is a great time, a great moment, not only to celebrate the creator, and to celebrate the creator within me, which I love doing, and is my favorite thing to do, and to engage in, one of my favorite actions. But to engage in the beauty of life and to engage in creation is so wonderful, so blissful, and there's so much truth. There's so much greatness. There's so much intonation of what the body can do, or what vibration you can vibrate at the same frequency or different frequencies as the earth itself, which I seem to have mastered over and over yesterday. Anyway, I didn't make a broadcast yesterday. I didn't make a broadcast this morning either. Right after 12. That was a new tradition that I started. I want to keep going, so I'm going to try and remember every morning from now on to have a broadcast right after midnight, because that was a really cool sort of sesh thing. So I'm gonna probably do that tomorrow morning, after 12. Anyway, so dude, celebration. I don't mean to be in. I recognize the difference between joy and that's actually what I really want to talk about. The Bhagavad Gita, specifically chapter 16, 17, and 18. And then 11, 12, and 13. What's amazing is that I don't actually have, I know the difference. And I think that's kind of my responsibility, to know the difference between, what people could experience. Not saying that everybody experiences and knows the difference and, is able to grasp that wisdom that's in the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 16, but if people read that, I think they would be very enlightened and very informed. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to say. Before even mentioning chapter 16 or anything like that, it's important to know that, well, I probably will just state this true, but there's more joy. There's the ability of, I'm enlightening my own ability. Which I guess I'm doing as well. The importance to me isn't necessarily those spiritual abilities that I have of the siddhis, but I do want to, because I feel responsible, and that's one of the abilities I should engage in, and that's one of the abilities I engaged in yesterday, very late last night, and of course the ability, just in case, that I'm going to engage in today, of the ability to grant joy, or the ability to heighten joy and happiness, so that there will be no more engaging in anger and frustration. So, thankfully, there's no more engaging in anger and frustration. I, of course, want to take full responsibility of that siddhi, but I also want to say that that's not necessarily my spiritual goal, of course, obviously. That's obvious to me, and that's the only person it needs to be obvious to, so that's really exciting. Chapter 12, dude. Chapter 12 and chapter 13. Those are really amazing. It's important that we know things like that, I think. It's important that we discover, I say we, but it's important that I discover the amazingness that I've always been as that being. And I recognize that as all eyes, as all mouths, or just the fact that from a force, for example, an immortal force sort of thing, an immortal being, an immortal presence, all the planets, it's that description of how all the planets are perplexed, all the planetary bodies are perplexed, and I find that absolutely true. And that's kind of the joy of, for lack of a better word, or that's the joy of being aware of demigods and the presence that demigods have, and it's absolute. It's absolutely incredible. I find it like very incredible that I can actually just remember all those things. I can just remember because I know it's in my subconscious. I don't remember the word of like what it's called, the 4 things that are in the subconscious that activate the conscious mind, but I definitely have those. You know what? I'm gonna find that and probably read that. But that's really cool, obviously, and that's an understatement. But anyway, like the man, the the mantra I've also been practicing. It's interesting because like I need to get into the habit of the mantra, which is the most interesting thing ever. But like it's literally like a practice of. It's gonna sound weird coming from my mouth, but I think it's like actually making fun of Krishna, like the mantra of, I think it's Har Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Har Rama, Rama Rama, Har, or Hari. It might be Hari because it's Hare. So it might be Hari Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari, or something like that. Actually, I'm just gonna make sure that is the right mantra. But I feel it resonating within me. Oh, actually, there's only one Hari. So it's Hari Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari. So there's 3 Ramas in between Krishna and Rama. And then, so it's Hari Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Rama, Rama, Hari. Yeah. Kamavasaita. That is definitely a thing. Definitely an ability that I have. Definitely an ability that I have. And I don't necessarily take it lightly, but I don't also not necessarily take it lightly. It's also important that I say it's not necessarily an important city, and it's not necessarily like the goal of my life at all. I mean, obviously, it's amazing to be on my planet, on this planet that the Creator made, and that I can actually inhabit this planet, sort of thing, or that I can like exist and live on this planet. And I mean, it's wonderful. I arrived on the planet, like, ta-da, sort of thing. So, what else did I want to say? It's important to know the cities, the wisdom, spiritual path. I definitely want to just, like, celebrate the Creator. Like, that's my favorite thing, because there's only one unique me. Like, just even talking about it is amazing. Like, he's the Creator. Like, there's only one Creator, and, like, oh my gosh, dude. Believe it or not, like, I got close to him. Like, the Universal Father, the Divine Residence, and it's literally, it's just, it's him, dude. There's no other way to say it. It's like it's like he is. He literally is. And everything moves around him. Everything. It's like, it's absolutely amazing. He's absolute. And it was interesting, like, I was traveling, and so I was traveling from, like, the 4, which happens to be uninhabited, but the 4, actually, no, I'm just gonna read about it. The 4 different, what's it called? Like, 4 different rings, or something like that. And they're uninhabited. and I traveled all the way from the furthest one all the way back into Uversa, and it was quite a journey. It was interesting because like I already know that there's, I created the ultra universes, which are like above, obviously above the well, first of all, as above so below. So in the same way that there's upper paradise and nether paradise and peripheral paradise, there's like the ultra universe and the ultra universe that like sort of like are above the super universes and below the super universes, like pretty much all around it. But what's really interesting is like the center is still the universal father, and it's just knowing of all things. So like that whole creation, like I know that I'm a part of that creation, like the ultra universes, and I know that I'm a creator and a part of that, or like I'm not a part of the ultra universes. I'm aware of the ultra universe's creation. There we go. That's what I mean to say. However, like believe it or not, like when I arrived at Uversa, oh my gosh, it was literally like they're like, are you supposed to be here or something like that, like, or I think it was something like, do you have to be here? Or like you're not supposed to be here. That was the impression I got when I arrived there. And it was interesting because like I actually thought for the longest time that not only were those four sort of like universes things, or those four spirals, I thought that not only that they were inhabited, but I thought like the last one is where Monmita, I think that's how you pronounce it, Monmita is located. So, and it's a learning lesson for me, that's for certain. Or learning lesson. It's very interesting. Monmatia, there we go. I went to I don't know how to pronounce it, Uversa. I went there. I went to I didn't go to the other super universes, but I went to the dark bodies, the mass bodies, which is pretty much more insight into my own ability as Black Lantern. I was able to peer into like those mass dark bodies, peer like through them to see the spirit. It's all spirit, dude. It's the weirdest thing. It's so true. Which is not true, but bear with me that the mortal mind and the physical mind cannot even understand, or the material mind can't even understand the spirit, can't grasp what's in the spirit realms. And it's so amazing because it's like, dude, it's like I can see it, but it's almost like pure light. It's the weirdest thing. But that's like my ability to move those mass bodies so that I can travel into like the Isle of Paradise and into Havana. And it's interesting, they do rotate in opposite directions, but like it's like I have the ability of that awareness of the mass, and I can like go to and from. It's the most amazing thing. It's all spiritual, dude. It's wholly spiritual, and the holy area, all holy area has a lot of area, has a lot of space, but it's really what I discovered. It's up to the Divine Father, or the Universal Father in his divine residence. He really knows all things that occur in the holy area, sort of thing. And there's space in the holy area and stuff like that. Yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah, there's space in the. Oh, I also visited. Well, not visited, but know of the 7 mansion worlds. Very beautiful. Anyway, where's the Here we go. So it's the most amazing thing. The fact that paradise is just paradise, and I learned that there's, there might be actually there's only one paradise, because it is and will be. Paradise is eternal. It is the only paradise there is, and it's literally eternal paradise. It is the eternal paradise, and there's only one eternal paradise. The thing is, it's his eternal residence. Like, paradise is sometimes called the Father's house, since it is his eternal residence. And the seven zones are often designated as the Father's paradise mansions. It's just one thing to recognize that their spirit, Holy Spirit, but it's another thing to recognize that it's his residence. It's the most incredible thing ever. But yeah, those are that's the activity. And it's interesting that I am aware of the holy area, but at the same time, since my focus for a while was only the holy area, I was actually incredibly aware of deity presence and the most holy sphere sort of thing, or reality. And that's the thing, a purely spiritual reality to a purely material being is apparently non-existent. So that's freaking amazing to me. So I also kind of want to go over the 12th chapter, because I actually want to say it, or want to read it out loud so that it's in the consciousness of reality. Dude, it's so liberating, because I already know of it. I know of it, and I know it, and I experience it and I express it. It's just the most amazing thing. For example, chapter 13 is pretty interesting. Chapter 14, chapter 15. Aha. There's just many different understandings. I feel like I'm very in tune with, of course, the body or the soul is going to interact with the senses. And yeah, I think that's kind of obvious, though. Joy. Alright. Joy, I know the difference between joy and, what's it called? The three gunas? So, and I can just be observing of joy, which is another really cool thing. But, there's the three gunas, and I just seem to know them instinctively. I think that's more fun than anything. I say the word fun, but yeah, more fun than anything. What else? Dude, there's no, once there's either absolute worship or absolute surrender to the Godhead or to the Krishna, which is something that's also, once again, very, for lack of a better word, risky to do, because for lack of a better word, it could have the opposite effect. But I kid you not, if it's done properly, it is the most rewarding thing, because you continue to be in that state of complete worship or surrender to Krishna or to the Godhead, or to the God consciousness, to the Supreme Being, which is the absolute control, or the controller of all activities. So it's amazing. It's beautiful. What else? I also know, which is really fun, I found out yesterday, that there's the ability to be able to understand the languages of animals. Like, to, like, understand the language and to somewhat, like, speak their language. And that's really cool. You know what, I am gonna read those. Let's see. Oops. Okay, so Monamaya Kosha is the mental layer of mind, as referred to as the subconscious or subtle mind. This state of mind controls the conscious mind. So that's another thing, I had in my previous broadcast. Like, I wanted to experience the fullness of the joy of my heart so that my mind would be more liberated, because everything that I say is ultimately the joy and celebration of my heart, which is the celebration of the infinite love that comes from the Creator's heart. And the Creator is eternal. So it's like, I already know I have subconscious thoughts or subconscious abilities, so I want to engage in, my unconscious, subconscious, engaging into my conscious mind sort of thing. But anyway, so that's what I'm going to read about right now, which is super amazing because it's without a doubt true. I'm going to break it down a little bit further too. So anyway, the state of mind controls the conscious mind. It has 4 functions: A, memory; B, rationality; C, experience of pleasure and pain based on reactions from past deeds; and D, dreaming. So, like I've been saying, and which is still diabolically true, and it's so frustrating. Like, okay, so I had this dream, like, my head was literally like 12, like, it's like I had 12 heads, and it's interesting, my whole hand can grasp my entire head, though. And there's light coming from my head, but my hand is able to embrace it, like, to hold it. Like, it just seems like from my third eye up, it's just a freaking open, giant flower petal sort of thing that's just beaming light sort of thing in it, and accepting all the light that's coming in. But when I put my hand on my forehead, I realized that where my third eye is, physically, it just seems really small. And that it seems kind of, like, finite, when it really isn't. And that's what was so... The thing is, like, I can't hide the light inside my mind. I can't hide the light inside, my crown chakra. And I've realized that when I was dreaming, dude. That was my last dream. My last dream was, like... I had 2 dreams, where I was in the Red House, and I had absolutely incredibly amazing... I don't know what to call it, but incredibly amazing creative abilities. The first dream, I was playing like some sort of French horn sort of thing, and I could play the most beautiful, skilled music ever. It was just unparalleled. I was able to perform music that was literally, it was so beautiful, and it was so, I was such a good musician. It was just intrinsically incredible, dude. Absolutely intrinsically incredible. And I would practice that. So I was just a brilliant musician in that dream when I was living, I call it the Red House, but when I was living in the Red House, which seems wholly spiritual now. Anyway, and so the second dream, the most recent dream that I had, I remember so many things about the dream. It was so vivid. I remember my old school, and then meeting someone in that dream. And the thing is, like, it's a big deal for the people that I meet, or the beings that I meet in my dream, because, for example, I met this person who is communicating with me telepathically. As in, like, we were communicating telepathically and we were speaking at the same time. And that was literally, I might as well tell where it was. It was literally probably about 40 paces from the gate of Beryl Heights Elementary School. It's about 40 paces. Like, if you were to walk into the gate and then look left, and the gate by the stairs near the near the street. It's the gate where it's on the playground. There's where the the basketball courts. So it's about like 40, 30 or so paces, maybe 10 paces, maybe 20 paces, something like that. As soon as you enter the gate, you make a left and make 20 paces. That's where this group was standing. And we were about to leave and go to our next destination. And that's where I was like, it was someone younger than me. And it was interesting. Like, I asked them on a date, and they, and as soon as I communicated, like, as soon as I communicated telepathically that I want to go on a date, that's when it's like instantaneous telepathy occurred, and then, we got into the car, and we started driving to our destination, wherever we were going to go. And of course, I arrived at the Red House, or what I call the Red House, which just seems wholly spiritual now. And I remember the back door. I closed the back door, and it took me like a few seconds to lock it. But it seemed familiar to me. I was able to lock the door. And there's like a desk, or not a desk, what's it called? Dude, it doesn't even have a name because it's wholly spiritual. But anyway, there was a bunch of envelopes that I knocked over, so I picked up the envelopes and I put them back on that little structure. And then I went into the living room for some reason, like all the way where there's wood floors and wood everything and 3 windows. And then I went back into my room, and in the hallway, pretty much squat in the middle of the hallway between the 2 bathrooms, is where the phone used to be. And so that's kind of where, obviously, there's a lot of spiritual energy. But at the time, I wanted to get into the room as quickly as possible. So I just went into my room, and there's like the, how there's doors where there's 2 parts, where there's like you can open the top half and the bottom half. There's like 2 hinges. Instead of just one solid door. So instead of it being like one solid door, it was the 2 doors. So it was like, and there's light shining from the room into the hallway, spilling into the hallway, and I could close the bottom half of the door, but I couldn't close the top half of the door because it was just too bright. And there was just light spilling into the hallway from that room, and so then I think I was able to close the top half door, and that's when I realized, like, the light wasn't necessarily coming from the room, like the light on the ceiling in the room, but the light was coming from my mind. And it was like I was trying to, like, have the door closed to the brightness of my mind, but that it was just, like, not possible. It was like the light inside my mind is way too bright, and I couldn't even hide from it. It was the most interesting thing. Anyway, so I had those dreams, and it seems wholly spiritual. It seems very intrinsic. So it's interesting, like, both those dreams were involving, like, the light inside my mind, or the incredibly creative ability that I have in my mind. I almost want to call it intelligence, but that's probably not what it was. I think it's more than intelligence. What else? I think that's pretty much it. Those dreams are just absolutely surreal. And I know that the dreaming is definitely subconscious, and I'm glad that I know that, because I thought it was something like a talent that like I overdeveloped or something, but it just happens to actually just be my subconscious mind. So I'm at ease now. I'm very much at ease. I'm very happy about that. What else? Dude, this is so exciting. We have a responsibility to like respond to the calls of those monks or whatever we call them in the Himalayas. Like that's also something that I like telepathically communicated when I was walking. And I've gone such a far distance. So there's the awakening of the power of siddhis through herbs. I definitely respect that. I definitely respect Vashita siddhi, which is the ability to bring others under one's control. And I definitely respect Prakyama or Prakamya siddhi, the ability to attain anything one desires. That one's really intrinsic for me. And Prapti siddhi, that's also pretty intrinsic to me. The ability to manifest any object one desires within one's hand. And some of these sciences, like, these are all real things. They're written in the Vedic texts, which are ancient. And yeah, like, they're all real things. Like, hold on. What in the world? Surya Vigyan. Transformation. Specifically, this is so enlightening, dude. This is so much fun. Swami Vishuddhananda had demonstrated the miracles of this science about 50 to 60 years ago by transforming a paper into rose and a cotton ball into gold. Otherwise, it has become almost extinct. So, the solar sciences, into the mediums of the sun rays. So the sun rays, that's how, like, if anybody was wondering, that's how extreme speed is sort of utilized through the sun rays. And, like, for example, you can, like, live in the live in the sun planet. That's Laghima siddhi, the ability to make one's body lighter than air and fly at will. The perfection of this siddhi enables one to travel on the sun's rays and to enter into the sun planet. So, to make it easier to understand, not only for me, but just in general, it's just the same thing as extreme speed. Like, I have extreme speed, so I utilize extreme speed a lot. And life is good. Life is really, really good. So, I'm very excited about the joy in the universe. Or, not excited about the joy in the universe. I'm just aware of joy. I'm aware of... Oh, gosh, I do have to go over the Ganas, don't I? I don't have to do anything, but, like, I guess I want to go over the Ganas. But there's 3 Ganas, and absolute worship has to do with mastering those, or just being aware of those, like being present in reality, but not necessarily succumbing to them. So, if anything, that's like the discovery of enlightenment, something like that. That's like something like that. Anyway. So, celebration. This is the 100th episode. I want to continue celebrating the Creator and continue being in tune with the universe. Continue being in tune with with the Supreme Being, and loving all that is. Well, love is a powerful force. And that's my habit that I say. You know, because the Creator heart is infinite love. Anyway, Supreme Being worship is like the greatest thing. It is the greatest thing ever. And so it is.